Kate Gosselin hits our stage. She's here without her 8, and nothing's going to be off limits. How does one of America's most famous moms handle the 24/7 scrutiny? Our first guest is one of the most famous moms in America. Anytime she does just about anything, the headlines follow. Please welcome mother of 8, Kate Gosselin. So thin, and trim. So just now, did you hear we were talking about Billy Ray Cyrus?
I did.
And how he regrets Hannah Montana. Do you regret putting your kids on television?
I don't. The big difference for us is we're not scripted. You heard me. We are not scripted. We're living. The kids run in and out of the frame and they just live. So I don't feel like, you know, I can really relate a whole lot to what he's saying. I am still the parent on camera, off camera. I appreciate what you guys said. It's true. You know, if I don't like the way things are going, I speak up. I am their mom at all times, so I feel like I have zero regrets.
And you don't feel like there's any added media pressure on them?
You know, you take the good with the bad. We have amazing experiences that we would not have otherwise had. We would be lucky to go to the local amusement park if we didn't have this experience. We've traveled the world. The kids love to travel, and everything in that regard is positive. The media obviously is the negative, but I take it as life experiences. My kids are going to be equipped to face the world when they get out on their own because we're learning it in baby steps together.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I think people don't realize, like I did a short thing for VH1 where the cameras follow you, and it's the same cameramen, and I think people get a little worried, like how are the kids with, you know, the media and the cameras, and that people don't realize that you become really close with these people. They sit down and have dinner with you.
Correct.
You know, they become kind of your family. So, and I just wanted to say, because I know how people say, you know, well, you're exploiting the kids, and I don't know how I really feel about it, just to be completely honest. Like, I agree with you that the kids wouldn't have these experiences, and that's what people don't understand, is that this is kind of her job. Like you're not a celebrity, you're just a mom with 8 kids. Well, just not saying just a mom, but a mom with 8 kids, because that ain't easy. And you know, it's kind of like, you know, you get this opportunity and people say, you know, well, I would, really, you're just living at home, you're doing your job, and if I came to you and said, you want to do a reality show, people are like, hell yeah!
I do. I have to tell you, I agree with you. I feel like the critics, the exact critics that are out there, the moms who are saying, oh my gosh, she does this and that. If someone knocked on your door tomorrow and said, this really great group of dads, this crew is gonna come, hang out with your family and film you doing whatever, and you know, you're going to Australia, New Zealand, and here and here and here, would they really shut the door and walk away?
Some people would. Some people would, but most people don't realize. I have a hard time believing that, but I feel like you know, there was a time that as soon as Jon and I announced our divorce and our lives were, you know, everywhere, and the kids came to me a few weeks later and said, Mommy, when's our crew coming back? They missed them. I waited for that, and I waited, and they came and asked. It was a normalcy to them. It was a comfort. These guys, when the cameras are off, they're dads. They're helping us. They play games with the kids. They read books to them. I mean, this is family to us.
But then what happens when that goes away? Because there will come a day that all goes away.
But the people won't go away because we'll stay in contact with them forever. We've made deep, lifelong friendships. I mean, you have to remember, these people have traveled with us as well. They're like part of us.
How do you feel, though, about your divorce being so public?
That was probably one of the hardest things I went through because I didn't want all that stuff to be out there. I really wished we could have just dealt with it. Our intentions, our early talks were, obviously, the publicity of it all could really become a problem, and it did. And I feel like when you saw me out answering, I was answering to the things that kept getting out there, to assure the world who had watched my kids grow up, they are okay. We're going through this, we're walking through it one day at a time, and I feel like my kids, you know, the 9 of us are stronger, we're a healthier unit, and I feel like we came out of it really well.
Do you wish you hadn't have done certain things in the press? You wish you maybe wouldn't have said, you know,
I only answered what came out. Well, no,
Right.
I needed to respond at some point because the rumors get out of control. I mean, 99% of what you read about me online is not true. It's far from true. And so I feel like the answers that I put out there were because I have to remember that my kids are going to be able to look back on this. And there's certain things I needed to come out and say. I need to clear the record and say, this is not what's happening. I mean, and so the only things I came out and said were things that I didn't want my kids to see me, you know, on the Today Show, on any show, you know, bashing their father. I won't do it. You will never hear me do it. He will always be their father, no matter his choices.
We have much more with Kate Gosselin before we come right back.
I can't even believe I'm sitting in this chair talking about our trip to Australia and New Zealand. We did it. I wasn't scared of the shark or the cage. I was scared of the diving part.
Hey there. Hold it. That's right.
You know, aside from saying this was the best trip in the whole world, this was a life-changing event.
Welcome back to The Talk. That was Kate Gosselin in her reality show, Kate Plus 8. So you must have some good traveling tips for moms, given that you travel with 8 kids.
You know, it was funny, the day before we left for that trip, my babysitter came to help me finish packing, and she said, I'm really getting excited for this trip. Are you? And I said, talk to me after the flight. You know, we've traveled a lot, and I feel like it's a challenge for me. So I always have my big bag of tricks. I've talked about it before. Tricks include, like, you know, the dollar bin Target toys, things they've never seen before. Of course, the little DVD players, the DSs. And I ration them out. Like, I look over and I say, okay, Joel's grouchy. What does he need? Like, I'm sitting there masterminding it, handing out stuff the whole time. And the other thing I set myself up for every trip is, it's more of a, it's not a tip, it's probably like a state of mind. I just plan for no sleep.
Right.
I just say to myself, you are lucky if you can close your eyes for a minute, and I just prepare myself that way.
And it's a bonus.
And it's a bonus if you get some.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, yay, I got an hour of sleep. But the truth is, they did really well on this flight, better than ever. They always travel well, but I remember a couple hours we had left of the Australia flight, and Alexis said, how long do we have left on this airplane, Mommy? And I thought, sugarcoat it. Well, you know, like 4, maybe 5 hours. And she goes, oh, good, because I love this airplane.
You're like, I meant 18.
And I was like, bless you, child, bless you.
You are a really involved parent. I think a lot of people think you're this fancy mom on TV, but you know, you don't have a lot of childcare, right?
I don't. I have a babysitter half the week, 3.5 days. And when I'm at home, which is most of the time, I am hands-on. I cook every meal. I know people want to say other things about me, but I am doing the math homework. I'm taking care of my kids. That is where my heart is with my kids.
Kate,
and
you don't need to say that.
it's
You know what? Even if you had help, I'm like, what mom wouldn't want help if she can get some damn help? I just don't know why it's such a big deal.
I have this guilt feeling about it. Like,
Of course,
I should
we
be
all
able
deal with
to
that.
do
Yeah.
it myself. And I had to give that up ages ago when I brought 6 brand new babies home from the hospital.
That's
I
right.
had to say, I need help, I have to accept it.
Yeah, I just think it's
Right.
amazing you watch 8 kids on your own. That seems really overwhelming.
I think they just kind of watch me, but they sort of run the place more than I do now.
And they entertain each other, which makes it easier sometimes.
The older they get, of course, they have, you know, more opinions, louder voices, and their own ways of doing things. But it's, you know, you get to a point as a mom where your kids aren't so minute by minute needy. And I remember, like, they run through the house now and they come to me, like, you know, when they need a drink, which most of them can get themselves a drink. But I remember thinking, like, where are they?
Don't they need me?
Don't they need me? I mean, there's like moments that go by now where, like, they are entertaining themselves and they're playing and they're doing their own thing, and I'm thinking, well, this is weird.
So it gets easier.
They're either into trouble or it's getting easier.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing.
Well, Kate Plus 8 returns this April on TLC. Kate Gosselin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.